Waiting for the people online here. Hello, folks.
Level of accoutrement needed to.
I know, just like it's the setup, really. Yeah. Okay. Deep breath. That wasn't it. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday night loving kindness meditation. My name is Alex. It's wonderful to be here with you today. I got a little gift, so thank you, whoever that was. That was awesome. I haven't opened it yet, but I'll open it if I get home tonight. My low coolant alarm just went off, like just what I was pulling up. It's like I just spent $1,700 getting my car fixed. Ooh, Lord, it's always something. All right. So I need loving kindness today, definitely. It was not a loving kindness day for me, and that's okay. Is anyone here who's brand new to the Dharma Bum Temple? Awesome. So a friend brought you? Nice, thank you. Thank you so much. And your friend brought you?
Yeah, I heard about it through another program as an alternative to AA.
Uh-huh.
And so my friend Kevin here.
Nice, thank you. All right, so thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody online. If anybody is online who is new, just let me know. Hello, Carl, and Jean, and Brian, and Linda. So for our new people, or is there anyone who, this is not your first time to the Dharma Bum Temple, but it is your first time to Wednesday? Oh, all right. So for our new people, the word that we're talking about when we're talking about like loving kindness meditation, I guess you'd call it the Buddhist word, is metta, M-E-T-T-A. And this is a wonderful word that means loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, goodwill, concord, amity, inoffensiveness, non-harming, all of those things wrapped up into one. It probably means a lot of other things too, wrapped up into one. And this comes from the ancient Pali language, which is, we think, pretty close to what the historical Buddha spoke. We're not really sure. They didn't keep great records then. During the Buddha's time and certainly about 500 years after the Buddha's time, everything was an oral tradition. It was an oral tradition because the literacy rate was, zero for the most part. The Buddha, during the Buddha's time, serious spiritual practice was reserved for the Brahmin caste only. And the Buddha said, no. Anybody from any caste can be a part of the Sangha. You have just as much right and just as much ability to free yourself from suffering as anybody else. Whether you're a man or woman, and he admitted women, which is a big deal at the time. He said it's not about the body, it's about the mind. It's about the mind. So anybody is welcome. And so because of that, I mean, some people could read, obviously, and read and write, but a lot of people couldn't. And so they passed everything down as an oral tradition for 500 years or so after the Buddha died. And then they finally wrote it down as best as they could from the oral tradition. And when you read like the Pali Canon, the the oldest existing Buddhist teachings that were originally this oral tradition. You could tell it's very repetitive in motion. And it was repetitive just because that's how people remembered it. And that's how people could tell it. You know, if they repeated things, that's how they can learn the sutras and pass them down. So what we're doing here, this word metta, is all of these things that I just talked about, but it's also just a wish to be happy. It's a wish for ourselves and others to be happy. And it's a wish for ourselves and others to do the things that cause happiness. And if you think about what causes happiness, just for a minute, think about what causes suffering to you, or what that means to you. And happiness is the exact opposite of that. It is basically, we like to say, think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds. And if you do that with the proper intention, those things are non-harming. Right? They don't harm you, they don't harm another person, and they only are for your benefit and for the benefit of another person. So those are the things that we want to think about when we're doing this practice for ourselves and doing this practice for others. And the wonderful thing about this is, you know, you can even do this practice for your worst enemy, because your loving kindness will never get in the way of somebody else's loving kindness. It is the ultimate kind of selfless kind of practice that you can do in Buddhism. Welcome, John. All right. What I would like to do before we start our meditation is read to you the Metta Sutra. A sutra is just a teaching, and these are the Buddha's words from 2,500 years ago or 2,600 years ago. It is, this is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. Wishing in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. That is so beautiful. And it's a way to relate to this meditation, a way to just kind of relate to life in general. You can do this practice at any time of any day. And so how we do this in meditation is, first we're going to do this practice for our benefactor. And again, a benefactor is just anyone who has shown us great love or great kindness, someone it's really easy to have these feelings for. not really a romantic partner, but anyone else, fair game, right? Mother, father, brother, sister, best friend, second cousin, I don't know, somebody you like on TV, doesn't matter. Um, and so after that, and this person could be living or not living. So if your grandma died and you loved your grandma, do loving kindness for her, no problem. And then we're going to, after that, imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us. Okay? So we already have um, the experience of their love and kindness already in our hearts. So we just call that to mind, and we're just going to imagine them doing this practice for us. Either, we say like radiating loving kindness, as it says in the sutra. And you can either just like radiate loving kindness in however you understand that word, wishing them happiness, wishing they do the things that cause happiness, right? I like to a lot of times like imagine like a beam of loving kindness going from my heart to theirs and smiling. Maybe this beam is like pulsating and warm, maybe different colors. There's a lot of flexibility here. So feel free to kind of do what you need to do, or just repeat phrases of loving kindness for them that we'll get into during the meditation. And then, we're going to do probably the most important part, where we're going to do loving kindness for ourselves, right? And then we're going to do loving kindness for all beings in all directions. That's it, nice and easy. And this nice progression that we do here now, that I hope will help. Any questions before we start? There is one thing that I also have that I forgot to say, is that if you're sitting in a pew or a chair, your feet don't reach the floor all the way, where your feet can be flat on the floor. We have these cushions here. You could put your feet on a cushion if you want to do that. That's up to you. You don't have to. So there's cushions up here. There's cushions back there. So feel free. Okay, no questions? All right. Let's begin. So at first, let's just take a couple minutes to get connected to the breath. So just allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that nice seated position that's nice and comfortable and sustainable for you, so you're not likely to move around too much. And when we sit like a Buddha. And you can even imagine yourselves as a Buddha sitting underneath your own tree of enlightenment. Ready for the day's abiding. So this visualization can be really, really helpful for you. You can choose your own tree of enlightenment. So just choose whatever tree you want if you want to do that. So now let's just take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. Not forcing it, letting the breath be quite easy and quite natural. Just when you breathe in, just focusing on your breath at the base of the nostrils, feeling the air go in and out as you breathe. Or if you want, you could follow the breath all the way in through the nostrils and into the heart and into the belly. And then on the exhale, out the belly, from the belly into the heart, and then out the nostrils again. Whatever way is just going to keep you connected to the breath, because you always want to maintain about 25% of your attention on the breath. at all times during this meditation, just to keep you connected to what's going on right now, to keep you connected to the present. And we use the breath to do that. The breath is our anchor. The breath is our home, that place we can always come back to, whether we're sitting in meditation or out experiencing our day. It's always with us. So to begin our formal practice of loving kindness meditation, we're going to begin with our benefactor. And again, a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love or great kindness, someone that's really easy to have these feelings for. And we can either just radiate loving kindness to them, wishing them happiness, wishing that they do the things that cause happiness, which is our unharming and well-intentioned thoughts, words, and actions. Or we can just repeat phrases of loving kindness for them, like, may you be happy. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at peace and live at ease in this world. So just use one or more of those phrases, something that's easy for you to remember and repeat. If you want, you can smile when you do so. It always helps so much. You can put your hand over your heart. That also helps. So just experiment and see what works for you as we do this practice of loving kindness for our benefactor. So shifting our focus just a little bit from doing this practice for our benefactor to now just imagining our benefactor doing this practice for us. So we already have the experience of our benefactor's love and kindness for us. So we're just going to call that to mind and imagine them doing this practice for us, wishing us happiness and wishing that we do the things that cause happiness. And just let all of that in again. Just receive all of their loving kindness. If you want, you could put your hand over your heart. Still smile if you want. It could be the same benefactor or a different one. It doesn't matter. You feel any tension or a tightness in your heart, a part of your heart that can't, for some reason, accept all of it. Maybe just breathe deeply into that part of the heart, just giving it space. Now we'll do this practice of love and kindness by imagining our benefactor doing this for us. shifting our focus again to now doing this practice of loving kindness for ourselves. And you can either just kind of radiate loving kindness back to your own heart, or just imagine your heart getting bigger and warmer through the power of your own loving kindness for yourself. Or you can just repeat phrases of loving kindness for yourself, like, may I be happy. May I be safe from inner and outer danger. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at peace and live at ease in this world. However you want to do it is fine. You got a couple of choices here. Keeping your hand over your heart if you want. This could really help. So we'll just do this for the next few moments. Loving kindness, unconditional friendliness for ourselves. And finally, we can explore this limitless potential of the heart to include everybody in our loving kindness practice by doing this practice for all beings in all directions. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, those living near and far away, the seen and the unseen, just like it says in the sutra. May all beings be at ease. And I will do this practice for all beings to end this meditation. And just open your eyes when you're ready. Let's just take the next minute or two out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs. Keeping that mindfulness of loving kindness about you still while you do that. So we're going to begin in about 30 seconds. If you have any questions or anything like that, just get them ready. I'm also going to ask about your experience of meditation as well. Okay. Any questions on the instructions at all? Okay. Yeah, it was really stressful for me coming here today, and it just and when this happens, I know what to do. Sometimes it takes me a little while to kind of figure it out again, but I almost pretty much know what to do. When I'm upset or when something's happening that's stressing me out or whatever it is, I always know that it's not another person who's stressing me out or not a disagreement that we had. It's not, again, the other person, the other situation, the other whatever it is. It's always just, my inability just to kind of let that go. Right? I'm always, we're always holding on to something. I almost said me, but we are all the same in this. We're always holding on to something, some person, some situation, some trauma, whatever that is. And it was the same for me. And I don't know about you, but the only thing that's really going to work for me, because I know I'm holding on. And when I hold on, I'm just causing myself suffering. The other person or a situation or whatever isn't causing me any suffering. I'm causing me suffering. So when I'm causing me suffering, the only thing that works is doing loving kindness for me. And I think, Alex, you're hurting yourself. I'm hurting myself. May I be happy. May I let go, and whatever it is that I say. And I know when I say, may I be happy, for me, that with that comes just a lot of things. It comes kindness. It comes with forgiveness for myself, for causing myself so much suffering. Because I know I do it to myself, and we all do it to ourselves. And so that was just kind of what was going on with me, and it's amazing. It works. It works. It absolutely works. So, right. So that was my experience. And I think probably when I get home, I'm going to have to do more of this. So, and that's okay. I could do that.
I've had a day ruminating, and
Nice.
and my ruminations kind of creeped into this meditation, which I look forward to my Wednesday and Thursday meditations here. And it's interesting always hearing about Buddhism is very similar to me to my cognitive behavioral therapy.
Mm-hmm.
My coach said the Buddha was the original guy. The idea is to reframe, think of it in a different manner than what you're saying. So that to me is is very interesting about this whole process is just that we're really working on you know, just reframing the way you're thinking
Yeah.
about it.
It's, we construct things a certain way in our mind. So we just have to construct them differently, and that's what a lot of mindfulness is. And just just the different types of Buddhist meditations. That's exactly what they are. Are you in behavioral health?
Am I what?
In behavioral health?
No.
Okay.
But I am in therapy.
Yeah. So, and the reason I asked is just because I'm just a big fan of therapy. Meditation is really wonderful and helpful, and I love it. But therapy has also been really, really helpful, and they just kind of do different things. Meditation can help you like reframe a lot of things and construct things differently and let go of things. But I mean, if you can afford it, because therapy ain't cheap. you know, but I mean, if you can do it, I mean, therapy, but meditation doesn't really, it gets at the thoughts, but it doesn't get at the content of the thoughts. So the content of a lot of these thoughts can be really, really difficult. And therapy is a way with different like trauma informed therapies, like, EMDR and other types of things.
It does do though. One of the things I've learned recently is to stop and think, what is this thought doing to where you are now, and how is it impacting what's going on?
Yeah.
And if you pause and do that, you can
Mhm.
move into in another direction. And I think meditation gets to the basic goodness and decency. I don't know.
Mhm. Because and it's true. I mean, in Buddhism we take the strategy that our potential is for goodness, right? For everybody, our potential is for goodness, right? We have this natural ability for goodness, the seed of goodness that we have to water and cultivate and grow, right? Through practices like loving kindness and just being a good person, essentially, right? And that's just I love that, because Buddhism, I love the word strategy when it comes to spiritual practice, because you can change a strategy, or you could do a strategy differently. It's not dogmatic, because Buddhism itself is not dogmatic, because dogmatism just causes nothing but suffering, right? So yeah, I like that a lot. And that's it's really, really helpful. And yes, Jennifer.
I liked how you mentioned that we could add like color to it.
Mhm.
Because I added like red and pink, and it was just a lot more alive and
Mhm.
like just made it so much. I don't know, it was really cool. I've never done that before.
Like your beam of loving kindness.
Yeah.
I like that. And it's, and really important, especially because this is a practice of experimentation, because we need to see what works for us, because what works for you is not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you. Right? It's going to be different. So in Buddhism, you're encouraged to try different things and say, hey, what's working? What's working for me? And this word strategy allows you just to kind of do that. Oh, well, this works for me. Like different colors, and that's why we propose it, because a lot of people are just really, really visual, and this provides a really good visual for people. I use this meditation app called Insight Timer.
I love
You like Insight Timer? Insight Timer is free. I mean, you can buy a membership that's like $60 a year. I mean, I don't need to, but otherwise it's free. It's an app on your phone, and you set it, and you can set it for whatever you want, and you can have the bell ring at certain intervals, and you can even have like a musical accompaniment, and it gives you like some choices. And I used to use music like when I first started meditating, because it kind of gave my mind something to listen to. Kind of gave it something to do to listen to this, while I meditated. And it was just very soothing. And, but I kind of weaned myself off that like a long time ago. But recently I started adding it back in again. And, very low. It's not very loud. It's no words to it. And it's been something that's been like really, okay, I remember this. I can go back to this. This is okay. I can experiment with this again, And that's just another way of just kind of being loving and kind to yourself, not thinking that there's only one way to do it or one way to do anything, any kind of meditation or spiritual practice. Anyone else have any questions or want to share your experience of meditation? I'd love to hear from you. And Carl says, saying, may I be safe from inner danger helps me to have kind thoughts towards myself. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Carl. It does. Yeah.
I was at the dentist earlier getting a lot of like fillings done and a bunch of like Novocaine shots in my mouth, and they're like going at it really hard, and I was in a lot of pain, but then I got this class and I just like was able to totally relax and just finish my experience off positive rather than in screeching pain. Really nice.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that helped me too. I had this is years, like 7 years ago, something like that. Had appendicitis, had to get my appendix out, and so I was just kind of at the hospital, and they took a CT scan and said, "Yep, you have appendicitis, and so we have to schedule the surgery right now." I said, "Okay, we can give you something for your pain because it hurts. If you've never had appendicitis, it hurts." And I said, "No, I'm okay," because it did hurt, but it was like, "I'm okay with this. I can deal with this. This is okay." So I practiced a lot of breathing and whatever, and I thought, well, if it gets too bad, then I'll just tell them I need some pain relief, and that's okay too. But it was okay to do either. So there's nothing wrong with getting pain relief. I don't want to say that at all. If you're in pain, get some pain relief. But I just kind of wanted to try that because it wasn't that bad. So that was really, really helpful too. And again, that's something that, meditation certainly can help you with. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming. It's been wonderful. Thank you for sharing in practice. And Carol, you want to come up and we have a couple of announcements before we end tonight?
I'm your host tonight, Daryl. Dharma Bum opened 15 years ago to bring Buddhism to those who show up. The people who lead are not gurus, nuns, priests. They are simply practitioners bringing their interpretation of Buddhism to you. There are classes most days of the week. There's a recovery sangha for those who have addiction. There's a family sangha for teenagers, adults, toddlers. And there is a silent meditation on the first Saturday of the month. If we have a lending library, so if you see a book and you want to borrow it, feel free to borrow it and bring it back when you're done. And that's good. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dale. Again, thank you guys. Let's just join our palms together at our hearts, please. May the benefits of this meditation, this discussion be received by all beings in all directions. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are, that you are. Thank you for coming. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your week and evening, and we'll see you then.
Thank you for soldiering.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you the same question I always ask. When story time?
Oh, yeah, we could do story time whenever we need story time.
I will do story time whenever you want to do story time. Come on. Right, right.
We'll do a short loving kindness next week. We'll do a story time.
All right. I'm here for it.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oops, I didn't end the stream. There we go. And